The no-date Kermit, the baby Hulk. Today we're talking about the Tudor Black Bay Harrods. Hi everyone and welcome to Shaluso, and yes, today we are talking about the Tudor Black Bay Harrods. A watch that was practically born of the hype times. It was released in 2017 and then very quickly, as the hype culture caught the watch industry, it became one of the most coveted Tudor watches ever made. And this was down to the fact that it wasn't just boutique only, it was specific to a single Harrods boutique in London, and on top of that, of course, it was green at exactly the right time. Some of these watches were going for nearly 6,000 euros for what was a Tudor Black Bay at the end of the day. Today now, things have kind of subsided, so that begs the question, is the Tudor Harrods the proof that hype culture is ending? Well, we need to look at a few things before we draw any sort of conclusion like that. For one thing, this is more than just a bezel change. They made a lot of really small, subtle changes to this watch to make it that little bit more special. Of course, the most obvious change to the 41mm case is that it now has a nice anodized green bezel. Now, this is a slightly different shade to what you saw on the Kermit, and obviously being an aluminum bezel, it's very different to what you see on the Hulk or the Starbucks. But it's a really nice, almost warmer shade of green in comparison to any of those. And that, of course, complemented by the gilt styling on the dial, makes for just a different look and feel compared to its equivalent Rolexes. And one other really interesting detail that escapes most people is that while yes, the script for the depth rating is in green, as expected with the rest of the watch, they actually switched around the meters and feet. So normally these watches will go 200 meters first, 660 feet after. But on the Harrods, it's actually the inverse. And that's because in the UK market, it's not as uncommon to still use feet. So I think that's a really interesting little detail to show that this is more than just a different colorway. This is a special edition. On the case back, it is numbered and you do have the engraving of the Harrods logo. This isn't limited to a specific number, but you just know roughly where you are in the production cycles. The movement is of course an amazing manufacturing movement with a silicone balance, 70 hours of power reserve. It's a no-date movement, so the dial is nice and clean. It's a very low maintenance watch. One thing I'd really like to highlight about this watch though is that the bezel feel is amazing. I actually used to own a Tudor Black Bay, but it was a Black Bay Chrono, so I never really got to experience how good the bezel feel is on these Tudors. It's a 60-click bezel, so it's nice and precise. It doesn't have any play to it. It just feels really mechanical, and that's always a great feeling. The case itself is still 14.5mm thick, and it has the standard Tudor rivet bracelet measuring at 22mm, so it is very much the same presence that we know from most modern Black Bays. So if you have the wrist for it, great, but if you don't like a thick watch, then maybe you might want to opt for something like a Tudor Black Bay 58. But if you can weather the thickness and you like how the size fits on your wrist, it is actually a very comfortable and complete watch. The numbers do kind of defy it. It seems on paper like a much bigger watch than it actually is, and I personally do feel it is actually quite wearable. Just maybe stay away from NATOs because it will still be a bit top heavy thanks to that thickness. So that begs the question then, should you be getting this watch? Should we be waiting for maybe an updated version with the new movement and the METAS certification? Well, in my opinion, this is a great deal because the hype has gone from it. I don't think this is really the beginning of the end for Tudor. I don't think this is a watch that if you bought it now, you'd lose any money on it. It is what all Tudors are and should be. A reliable, good value watch that looks nice, has good heritage, and probably you're not going to see on everyone's wrist, but when you do, you're pretty certain it's a watch lover who has it, not someone who's bought it because they want to make money off it. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think of the Tudor Black Bay Harrods? Did you like it when it was at the peak of its hype? Do you like it now, and is it something that you would want to get if it was readily available to you? Or is it something you'd consider getting on the pre-owned market perhaps? I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, if you like this video, then make sure you like it and share it. If you want to see more pictures and infographics of watches as seen throughout this and all my other videos, then make sure you follow me on Instagram at Shaluso. If you want to see more videos about watches, then make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you know when the next video comes out. If you want to see more Tudor content, then make sure you check out my Tudor playlist. But thanks for joining me on this quick video about a Tudor that was selling for 6,000 euros that now is actually readily available at regular Tudor pricing. We'll catch you on the next video.